Hello, my name is Selena.
And my name's Theoni, and you are listening to Piping Hot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Piping Hot. We are so excited for today's episode because it's been very highly anticipated.
It has been very highly anticipated. I feel like I've been waiting. I don't even remember when the last season of Bridgerton came out, but
It's been 2 years.
It's
Yes! Yes.
Oh my God.
Because Netflix takes 5,000 years. So annoying.
And then they give us half. How dare you?
I know, honestly.
I saw someone on TikTok saying about how we need to go back to 20 episode seasons.
I agree.
Because all these limited series and 8-episode things are coming out and we wait so long for them. And I'm like,
I know.
What do you mean right now, honestly? So
what is your production schedule? What are we doing?
Literally, what are we doing this whole time?
Yes, why are we taking so much longer? I think if it was animation, I totally understand because animation is a whole beast in itself. It's literally just shooting people and you're you're set.
Yep. We'll see. But anyways, how are you? How's life?
Yes, I've been good. I've actually been so busy. Honestly, I need a break. I honestly need a break. It's a little overwhelming for me. And you know me, I never have fucking plans. So I don't even know what I've been doing. And it's funny too, because right now I'm unemployed, but I've been so busy. And I was just what? I don't know. So I just need a quick breather.
Do you hear that kid screaming next door?
No, I couldn't hear that.
A little girl who just let it rip next door. I was so distracted.
I did not hear that.
A couple of things to respond to you, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you don't not have plans. You always say you don't have plans, but you do have plans.
I mean, my plans are basically oh, I need to go to Costco, or oh, I need to go to the gym. And that shit takes so long. And then I'm after that, I'm oh, I'm so tired. And then I just rot on the couch.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so I need a breather, but I'm going on vacation this upcoming week, which I don't know if it's really much of a vacation, but it'll still be fun. The Verbo that we rented has a pool, so I'll be
nice.
In the
pool.
Where
is Zion National Park?
It's in Utah.
Oh, Utah.
Yeah. Yes.
You might meet a Mormon.
Yeah. I memean, we're on the very south end of Utah. We're not even going that far in because Zion is right on the bottom. But
nice. That's
that'll
cool.
be fun. Yeah, that'll be really fun. And then I've slowly started to revise my adult fantasy, but I've been so busy that I'm I've gotten to halfway through chapter 2. That's it. It's
nice.
I just out of 42. So
dang, it's 42 chapters. Crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, but slowly but surely, or slow but wins the race. What's that phrase? Sorry.
You just glitched so hard.
I did.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Slow and steady wins the race. That's it. You got it. Yep. That's what I meant to say. Sorry.
Thank you.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Words of encouragement that I really needed. So thank
Literally,
you.
I think the alcohol killed my brain cells last night. Here's the thing. We went out for my friend's birthday.
Fun.
And I only had 3 drinks. And when I tell you I was sitting at the dinner table, just spinning, I could not speak. I was so drunk. And I was what happened? But I honestly think I forget that my medications have changed my tolerance. So,
crap. Okay.
Yeah. So I think
that will do it.
Yeah. So anyways, I think my brain is still regenerating enough brain cells to be functional. So
got it. I mean, valid.
We'll get there.
Definitely. Nice. Anything else? What else have you been doing?
What else? Nothing. My life's boring. No. I honestly, I don't even remember. I had my friend's birthday thing last night. On Friday night, I feel like I did something, but I don't remember. Yeah, nothing too crazy coming up. I have like random dinner plans or whatever, things like that, but nothing too crazy.
Nice.
My friend Emily and I next weekend are gonna have a movie night, and we're gonna watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah, it is.
So because we both love Ariana Grande, so we have to watch it. So I'm very excited.
I love that.
I think it'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen that movie either, but I should. So.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's that. Work is work.
Nice.
No comment. But yeah, it is what it is. We're pushing through. Yeah.
Nice.
No.
All right. Do we want to dive into what we're reading, watching, listening?
Sure thing. I'm reading nothing.
Really?
I have not. Like, I don't know. Here's the thing, Selena. I don't think I'm like depressed, but like actually, but I just have had no motivation at all for anything. And
that's okay.
Reading is such a good hobby, but I can't get myself into a sitting position to read. I just want to lay. Like I just want to lay down and scroll on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. And it's not even like a reading slump. It's just like I can't.
Yeah. Sometimes I just want to rot. Like that's what I did. I think I did that Friday night or something where it's like, oh my God, I feel like I should be writing. I should be doing something. But I was like, you know what? Nope. I'm going to rot. And it just felt really nice.
Yeah. No, sometimes that's what you got to do. Yeah. So
that reminds me. Do you still have our May book club pick?
No. I don't. I will figure one out by the end of the day. Okay.
Got it. Yeah, you're good.
Again, who knows? What are you reading though?
What am I reading? Okay, so the last time since we talked, I finished Harrow the Ninth, which was that like adult sci-fi novel that like I didn't know what was happening. It was like the second book in the saga or whatever. It was so good. It was so good. Like I'm so happy I like pushed through
it out.
Yes. I feel like I should have seen the twist coming, and I feel so stupid because like once I realized what was happening, I was like my mind was just blown. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like it was just so I was like, it's so clever, and I feel so stupid for not seeing it.
For not seeing that, yeah.
Yes, I was so, like, I'm just, like, in awe of the author, of, like, how she, like, put the structure of it together. Like, it was just so interesting.
Nice.
And so, yeah, that was really good. And now I am reading Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. I picked it up randomly at a Barnes & Noble because I was just, like, looking through the adult fantasy section.
Yeah.
And I read the back and I read, like, the first page and I was like, I'll buy it. It's fine. It's not my favorite. Okay. It is different. So I like the perspective that it's giving me, but, like, I don't think it's
just not totally up your alley.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
But yeah, I think that's all that I've been reading.
Nice. Okay, what have you been watching?
Okay, watching. So I finished watching that anime called A Sign of Affection. Okay. Super good. Yay. Super cute. I love the guy. He really grew on me because when I first started, I was like, I don't think you're my type. Definitely my type.
Aw, yay.
Yeah, so super good. I also watched The Idea of You on Amazon Prime.
I did as well.
We need to talk about it.
Yeah, we do. So I wanted to like it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of hard to get through. And the hard thing is, like, I don't know. I got bored. Like, I think Nicholas and Anne are such good actress, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like, I think they could both have chemistry with the wall. They can both act like nobody's business.
I agree.
But I just felt like there was something lacking. I do like the boy band songs. I do. But it just felt a little weird. And then the ending, where it's like all of a sudden 5-year time jump and they look at each other and everything's supposed to be okay. Yeah. And I'm like, what? So I was hoping something about the ending would be redeeming, but it just like that almost kind of like finally sunk it for me.
Yeah. It was everything that I expected. Like I didn't.
Okay, fair.
Like I didn't have any high expectation. Like I like knowing the background of what this is based off of Harry Styles fanfic.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Like I expected it, and I think because my expectations were like to the ground.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was just like having fun or whatever. I was also like very high when I was watching this, so yeah. I mean, it was fine. Like I just like I just like I could. I don't know about you, Theoni, but like when I watch something, I can like see the trope. I can physically see the trope where it's like it's almost snaps me out of it. Where it's like
fair. It's like almost too on the nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why like what I mean when I was like I can see the fucking trope.
Yeah.
Like when she like walked into his trailer, I was like, oh, of course. Like,
yep, literally.
I will say though, their like makeout scenes and their sex scenes were so good.
Yeah, they were.
I thought they were super good. Like whoever was directing them chemistry wise knew the female gaze. I was like,
totally.
That's it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. It was just like for shits and giggles. I was like, oh, okay.
Nice.
What else have you been watching other than that?
What have I been watching?
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls.
Very nice.
That's literally it. Again, I haven't even been motivated to watch TV. Like, I don't know what's going on with me. I think honestly, I think what it is I was talking about this with some of my coworkers on Friday, where I think I'm just like at burnout and I need to like figure something out because I'm literally at the point of like, I'm not even angry anymore. I'm like over it and I just like, I don't care anymore. Yeah. So darn. I just need to get my mojo back a little bit.
Yes. I should fly out and we should have a spa day.
We should.
I'm down. Or something.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said as divorcees, not at the Four Seasons.
That
I was
could be
like,
it too.
I was like, wait, what? I was like, no. Oh my God, it's so funny.
That's what we should do. Because sometimes you just need to like sit in a spa and get a massage or something.
Yo, although I will never have another man massage me because I went to get a massage and when I booked it, it said with DJ. I was like, oh yeah, like DJ Tanner. But it was like a man when he walked into the room. And then I just couldn't get over that, which I know it's their job and it's not whatever. But I think it's a me thing. But I was like, there's a man massaging me right now and I'm so naked and I don't know what to do with that. You know, like it's just weird.
That's okay. Yeah, so no, that definitely makes sense. I always put my preference down, like only women or whatever.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that Jack and I got a couples massage for our anniversary?
I feel like maybe you did, but how did it go?
It went really well. You know what's so funny? The girl was like, tell me your like target spots or whatever. I told her and she's like, what's like the pressure that you want? I was like, go as hard as you can.
Yeah.
This woman almost broke my fucking back. That's how fucking hard she went. And honestly, good for her because I told her to go as hard as she could and she did. She delivered, okay? Nice. But I thought my back would be broken when I walked out. Yes.
But was it even relaxing then?
It was. It was very nice because like I could feel. It's so funny. She was like trying to get a muscle in my like my shoulder blade on my left side. Yeah. And she was trying to release it. And I could feel her trying to release it. And then she got to the point of like trying to like shake it out or whatever. And it didn't go. And she went, I was like, yeah, I might be stressed. That was also when, in April. That was in April when I was really fucking stressed.
Mid-stress, yeah.
Yeah, so she went, and I was like, yeah, that's about right. I was really fucking stressed. Yeah. But no, it was super good. It was really, really good. We'll probably go back to them. They're just like really, really close by to where we live. So
nice.
It was good though.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry. Off topic. What are you listening to?
What am I listening to? Let me just check my Spotify real fast. I think I've been in a little bit of a music slump. I've been listening to a bunch of the random like Spotify mixes that they'll put out. Oh yeah. I continue to be obsessed with Illusion by Dua Lipa.
Really? Mm-hmm. Have you listened to her album?
Yes.
Okay.
Which I feel a little mixed about overall.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but there are a few songs that I like. So I've been listening. That's my favorite. I've been listening to Hammer to the Heart by Teddy Swims, which his voice is really good, and it kind of sounds like James Bond vibes.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, it's a really good song. I've been listening to Still Yours by the Kid Laroi. Which I am realizing, I think I really like his music, so I need to dive in more and listen to it.
He's like very reminiscent of Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
which I really like.
Yep, exactly. I've been listening to Alone by Kat Burns, which you need to listen to that song because she has a beautiful alto, deep voice. I don't know, it's really cool.
I feel like I've heard of her before.
Okay.
Kat Burns. Okay, let me look her up.
Okay, and there's a song called Afterlife by Chris Brown that I've been listening to. Okay, that song is really, really good. Okay? Yeah. It's really good. Everyone needs to listen.
I love that. Yeah. Very nice. Hey, I mean, you're listening to really good stuff.
Yeah. So I guess there is more than I realized, which is good. Yeah.
That's good, yeah. I've been listening to Dua's album, which I like. Again, like I knew what I was expecting, so like it wasn't a surprise when I listened to it. I really do like Maria though by Dua Lipa. I love that song.
I like the beginning of Maria, especially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that song. What else have I been listening to? Let me look. Okay, so I've been listening to Guard Down and Dance Before We Walk by August Moon.
Okay, those songs slap.
So good.
It's so good.
Leonie. Tell me why it's so good. Okay.
Amazon has a way of like fictional bands that need to be real. Like the music they come up with for these shows, these movies are so good.
So good. Literally so good. I heard that they had like a producer who like worked with One Direction to do August Moon in their songs and stuff, so that's cool. Why it sounds so like One Direction-esque, and I just like love it though. It's so good.
And then my God, it's so good.
It's so fucking good. And then Nicholas, obviously, love of my life. I'm also listening to "Be My Baby" by Ariana Grande. Did you know that that's a hit?
Throwback.
Yeah.
No, I've been listening to This Is Ariana Grande on Spotify, and people don't. Her discography is so good.
It's insane. Like I was like, "Be My Baby." I'm sorry. Like it just like revived me. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
It's slap.
And then I'm also listening to "Boyfriend" by Ariana Grande as well.
With Social House.
Yes.
That song is so good.
Fun fact, I like hated that song when it came out because I was like, it just feels kind of flat for me. Like I just like, it's too little like house music for me. Like just whatever. It's a vibe though. It is a vibe. I've come around.
It absolutely is.
Yes. So yeah, some oldies but goodies.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Do we want to dive into pop culture?
Sure thing.
Okay.
Sure thing. I only have two. I feel like for me, this was a pretty slow pop culture era. But what I will say with my first one is that there's a lot building up to it. So I don't have a ton to say right now, but I know more is going to come out about it. So I want to kind of track it as it goes. So all this stuff about P. Diddy, right?
Oh, yeah.
There is so much coming out. And the most... I think we're all kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop because there is so much that I need to do a deep dive more into it.
Yeah.
But he's going to be like the downfall of the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Like, so the most recent thing that came out basically was Cassie, who was like an artist back in the early 2000s. A video was released of her like basically kind of like running out of the hotel and him chasing her in like a bath towel.
Yeah.
And there was a lot about that, and he came out with the video like apologizing for that video or whatever, and I was like, I don't buy his apology. I think he's trying to save face, and I just like, I think there is so much more, because as I think we mentioned on the podcast before, his house was like raided by the FBI recently. And so I think that there's a lot that's going to come out about that. And I know there's more about Jay-Z and Beyonce that are involved in that. So I'm curious. See, again, I need to read more into it, but I think we're all still waiting for more information, because right now it's a lot of theories, but we're waiting to learn more.
I honestly have not been in that sphere. I haven't done a deep dive. I don't even know what he would be convicted of. Like, that's how much knowledge I don't have on it. So I can't really speak to it or whatever, but like I have seen that stuff. But yeah, I should probably do a deep dive on that, because I honestly have no clue.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be so interesting to dive into it, because I think it's been a lot about like assault. It's been a lot about taking advantage of people. It's been a lot about doing something to someone else to get the career of someone else moving forward. So there's a lot of like a lot of stuff, but we should track it as we go.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Okay, my first one is that Justin and Hailey Bieber are expecting their first child.
I can't believe I didn't write that down.
What?
I didn't write that down. I think I forgot because I had texted you about it. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
But I cannot believe that Selena Gomez is also pregnant.
She is not. I haven't seen anything about that,
but
Theoni. I literally
have
not. That's what I was going to bring up, because like, okay, you guys, Theoni called me to tell me that Selena Gomez was pregnant. I was like, what? Because then I went on her page and I was like, I'm trying to like see, and I haven't seen anything at all.
Oh. Well, maybe it was just fake then? Oh my God. I thought it was real this whole time. And the funny thing is I also was thinking to myself, like, why am I not seeing more about this? Like,
yes.
So, yeah.
That's what I was saying, because it's like, if she was pregnant, it would be everywhere, because the whole thing with her and Benny was everywhere, and they just announced that they were dating. Like, I can't even imagine if they announced that they were having a kid, you know?
Yeah, you're right. I think
so
I
just wanted to clear the air. I wanted to clear the air, because I was really fucking confused. But yeah, Justin and Hailey are expecting their first child, which is so crazy. I should have added that to my 2024 bingo card.
Yeah. No, I feel like that it almost was like, oh yeah, that was gonna happen. My next thing, which my friend Denise, I was on FaceTime with her before this, and she gave me the idea of what to call this. But it's basically called Celebrity Guillotine. That was happening on TikTok, where everyone started mass following all these celebrities.
Mass
unfollowing, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. But yeah, which I think is crazy, because I think people are kind of hitting their limit of like, these celebrities are not using their power for the good and like not talking about things they should be talking about. I think it's such an interesting concept, because number one, they'll never not be celebrities. But and also I think you brought this up in a previous podcast episode, where it's like, these celebrities did not sign up to be people talking about these issues. And it's hard, because I think some celebrities have come out and be like, I don't know enough to say it, but then people are like, well, then you should learn and like, you should educate yourself and all these things. And it's such a weird thing. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, because on some degree I'm like, yes, they have a lot of influence. They could do a lot of things for good, but at the same time, like, they shouldn't be required to do that, because they're not really qualified to do that. And I think there's already so much misinformation around that, like, because then people will be like, oh, you're just doing this for the attention because you're hopping on the trend. And it's like, I truly believe that, like, they would never win no matter what they do, you know?
Yes, I agree. I think it's always kind of a sticky situation. But going back to what you were talking about, the whole celebrity guillotine, I think that came to a head with the Met Gala. Because the ticket to the Met Gala was like 75 grand.
Yep.
Theoni, I don't know how many people make that in a year.
I know.
Year for one fucking night. And so I think that perspective really, really like
rocked people.
Yes. I think it rocked me personally too, because I'm like, I'm sorry, 75 grand would change someone's life. Like, that's crazy to me. And again, it's like, okay, yeah, I understand. It's like helping the Met and doing all of this shit, but it's like, I think people were also comparing it to the Hunger Games, where we're living in this dystopian where it's like we're in the capital. Yep. Versus, you know, in Gaza, where they're literally like bombing everything, District 12, District 13, all of that fucking shit. And I'm like, you're right. You're right. Like, we're not going to tell you that you're wrong. Like, the Met Gala was a huge thing, but it's like, I don't know what to do. And I think that celebrity guillotine was kind of like a way for people to like take back power, which again, I don't blame them, because nowadays, like, what is your power, unfortunately? Like, what do you have? What do you have? And I think, going back to your other topic of like celebrities and speaking out, I think, again, I'm still in the same stance of like, I think celebrities can use their platform for good, but it's always such a thin line to cross. Because then it just gets kind of sticky. And again, people aren't educated, and it's like, who should be advocating for what? But again, it's like, I've also known that like, Nicola Coughlan, I don't know how to say her last name. She was wearing her Gaza pin or Free Palestine pin throughout the entire press for Bridgerton. And I'm like, that's amazing. So it's like, what can we do, or what can these celebrities do that kind of like meet that balance? Like, I don't know, and I don't have the answer. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
My next one, or my last one, is not as fun as that.
Yeah.
Even though that's not fun. Sorry. That's not fun. Sorry. I did not know how to transition that, you guys.
That's okay.
But Sabrina Carpenter performed on SNL.
She crushed it. She's a pop princess.
She is. I love her. I love that she's getting her flowers. She fucking deserves it.
People don't realize how long she's been in the industry, and she's young.
Yes.
She has been coming out with albums. She's been acting. Yeah. She's been doing the whole 9 yards.
I know.
So I'm glad she's finally getting the attention.
Yeah. So, but that's all that I have.
You know what I keep thinking about, though? I just have to mention this. And Sabrina Carpenter's, like, vibe of her outfit on SNL really made me think about this again.
Yeah.
But if nowadays we were to redo Lady Marmalade, right? From, like, you know, the song with, like, Christina, Maya, Lil' Kim, Pink. Who would do it now?
Oh, definitely Ice Spice.
Oh, God, fuck. I hate Ice Spice.
I know you do. I know you do. But she would be in it. I feel like that would be like her thing. Ice Spice.
Because you think about the young people.
Possibly Dua.
Yeah, you could see Dua.
I could, but
then
possibly.
Who's the person who's going to belt to the heavens?
I know. See, that's the thing. I don't know. I feel like Ariana Grande is a little too old. Like, if we're going to stick with the generation,
what age group we're doing.
Yes, exactly. If
because
in the generation,
because if I'm thinking like later, like whatever, I could see Ariana, Miley, Demi, and like Meg Thee Stallion or something.
Oh, okay. Okay, I could see Meg on it, honestly.
Yeah.
I could see Meg. I don't think I could see Demi on it.
Fair.
I could see Meg, Ariana, possibly Doja, but I would take Meg over Doja.
Okay.
Who would compliment Ariana well? Who in her age range? Like,
you know who I would want to do it in the younger age range?
Who?
Renee Rapp. But the thing is, I don't think she would do it, though.
I don't think she would. So actually, it would be Ice Spice, Sabrina, Renee, and then we need one more.
But can you imagine if it was Olivia?
Oh,
she would not.
She would kill it in a different way.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she has that belt power that like Renee would have. But I think Sabrina.
But no,
would bring
but you need 4 people.
I know that, but I don't think she would. I don't know.
But I'm trying to think who else.
This is a good question.
I know,
Good
so maybe
exercise.
we need to like come back to it next time with the
yeah.
full answer. Yeah.
I love that.
All right,
Theoni,
yes.
do you want to do the honors of telling people what we're going to be discussing today?
No, this is your role.
No,
this is your part.
No, today is special. Today is special.
All right, guys. Well, today we are going to be talking about the new season of Bridgerton, but the part 1 of season 3, because Netflix wanted to kill us by coming it or having it. See, I can't do this.
You're doing so great.
Like when they. I'm malfunctioning. I am.
You're
I'm
glitching again.
I'm glitching again. But I'm trying to say is Netflix tried to kill us by releasing it in 2 halves. So we have to wait until June for the second half. But we will be talking about the first 4 episodes, which I'm very excited to talk about.
Yeah.
And I will say before we dive in, it's not what I was expecting quite.
Yes. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. I think it's hard for me to give you my overall thoughts because I'm not used to them splitting it up in 2 fucking parts, okay?
Yeah.
Because if I remember season 2, I was not feeling the beginning of season 2. And now, if you talk to me, I would go to war for Anthony and Kate, okay?
Yep.
And so I think I need to see part 2, and that's where like my like Bridgerton kind of like vibes really come in. But it's hard to do with just part 1.
I agree.
Yeah. So
So yeah, I feel like I'll have to wait to give like total overall thoughts until we have the whole thing. But Alrighty, so I will start out by talking about episode 1.
Okay.
I have a very long summary of the episode and then a few talking points. So bear with me, guys, as I read this. And I did take this from the Bridgerton wiki, but this is like a condensed version of that, and it's still really long. So I apologize. Okay. The episode starts out with a new edition of Lady Whistledown talking about the strengths of each lady of the season. Then the Bridgerton family prepares to go to Francesca's debut, and although she's supposed to be getting ready, she's found playing the piano. We then see Colin with his brothers in a carriage, vaguely discussing some of his escapades from his trip. We all know what that means. Wink, wink. Then we see Violet and Francesca talk before the debut, and Francesca says she's excited to meet someone and have her own house, which was really funny to me. But anyway, we then see Portia Featherington again talking to her children about how they came into money from their Aunt Petunia, who didn't actually have money. We'll talk about that. Next, we see Eloise and Cressida together, and when Penelope spots them, Cressida makes a mean comment towards Penelope's clothes. We then have a small scene of Violet and Kate talking about how Violet can stay in the home as long as she likes because that is the tradition of people in India. And so Kate was like, yeah, you can stay as long as you want. Again, we see the Featheringtons discussing the stipulation that they have to produce an heir to become the new Lady Featherington, basically. Yes. We then get a scene of Colin giving gifts to his family from his travels, and when he asks Eloise how she fell in with a friendship with Cressida, she was like, she was nice to me in the kind of off season when no one else was. Eloise and Penelope then have a run-in where Eloise reveals that she hasn't told the secret of Penelope being Lady Whistledown because she doesn't want to revisit the past. Yeah. Then we see the brothers talking to the... we see the brothers talking at Mondrick's, like the bar, and then again we hear Colin talking about all about his new admirers. Then we get info. This is where I inserted my opinion into the summary. Okay. I'm sorry. Then we get info about the Mondrick storyline, which in all honesty I don't know why is there, and I don't give a crap about. We then get a spicy scene of Anthony and Kate, which hot. Penelope then enters the ball with a new dress and gets new attention from a lot of different people. Then we see Penelope and Francesca bond about liking to stay on the sidelines before Cressida and Penelope meet Lord Debling. And that is when Cressida rips Penelope's dress. Then we see Penelope and Colin have a confrontation about what Colin said the previous season about how he would never court someone like Penelope Featherington. Cressida and Eloise then discuss what happened with Penelope, and Cressida, we get to see a little bit of a softer side of her. Penelope and Colin then talk to each other and work out an arrangement that he's going to be the one to help her find a husband. Colin then becomes upset when reading the newest Lady Whistledown edition because it calls him out basically for changing drastically since his travels over the summer. That is the summary. So already episode 1 sets up so much.
Yeah.
So I'll just go into some of my thoughts about the episode.
Yeah.
I have to make a point to talk about how it opened the season with Penelope walking through the crowd of all the women and it being the letter from Lady Whistledown basically saying like positive things about each woman who's like in the whatever
season, they're
the
looking
season
for a husband.
yeah that they're looking for
or their debut or whatever
which I think was so cool and very much calls back to the last episode of season 2, because last season of the show we see Penelope end with like kind of scribbling down on the paper like furious. So I feel like it could have gone a different way where like it was just like tearing people to shreds and creating out more drama, but instead it kind of was a little bit more positive, at least at first, which I think was cool. Here's one of my thoughts, which you let me know what you think. I think Colin's character was a little bit confusing because no, the first 2 seasons, he was such a lover boy. I mean, the whole thing with, like, Marina and him getting really attached to her and wanting that and everything.
I forgot about Marina.
Yeah,
Holy
no, exactly.
shit.
That was a whole thing through seasons 1 and 2. He's such a lover boy, so attached. But then all of a sudden, season 3 starts, and he's, like, a ladies' man all of a sudden.
He's a man whore.
He's a man whore, yeah. And someone on TikTok pointed out that, like, this was the point that like his travels changed him and it's like he's not really himself. But I still feel like it was such a drastic change from what we saw before that it just didn't seem like his character. Like when Anthony was being a man whore, I feel like that tracked for his development. This didn't really feel like Colin to me.
I could see it. Honestly, from my perspective, I could see it and it was believable to me. One, because I think Marina was such a huge part of him that I think it, like, her getting away really shifted for him, especially their last meeting in season 2, right? Where it's like, Marina's like, well, what are you doing here, Colin? Like, I have a life here now. Like, we can't do anything, right? I think that really, really shifted his perspective. But also, he was traveling in season 2 as well. So I feel like his travels, I've always kind of just been like, oh, he's traveling the world and doing whatever the fuck he's doing. And I think just for season 3, I just assumed that he was getting more adventurous. And that's fair. Why
that's kind of what happened.
He's like sleeping around and doing all that stuff. I will say, Colin in episode 1, I felt was such a pick-me girl because he wouldn't shut the fuck up about his fucking adventures.
I saw so many TikToks about that where he's the girl in college who comes back from study abroad and starts saying like, I went to visit Barcelona and I went to Ibiza and like
I was like, oh my God, Colin, shut the fuck up. Okay, but literally, right on the other end, I understand though, because once we get into the further episodes, I understand his whole character arc of, you know, no one really knows the real me. We're just pretending what society wants of us or whatever, and that's super, super lonely. And like, I understand, like, these are the groundworks for the themes and the character arc that we're gonna put him through. It was still annoying nonetheless, though.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay. This is just a random thought, but Francesca Bridgerton, I love the recast they chose. Okay. Yeah. I think number one, she's literally beautiful. Gorgeous. And she has one of those faces that's very like a timeless beauty. So I feel like she looks like someone who could be in that era, which I think is so cool. Like, it almost reminds me of like Daphne, kind of like the gentle features. Like, I feel like those two as siblings, it like makes sense.
Yes,
you know?
That's what people were saying, where it makes sense for her recast because she looks so much like Daphne, where it's like they could be siblings. Yeah. I will say I feel very, very, very bad for the original actress because she left Bridgerton to go star in her own Netflix show called Lockwood & Co. And then Netflix did what they always fucking do. They canceled the show, and so she couldn't come back to like film already because they were already like midway through or whatever, which fucking sucks.
I
like
feel
that
so
sucks
bad for her. Yeah.
Yes, because like she was taking her chance to do a lead role, which is so awesome. Like, good for her. And then Netflix fucking canceled it. Whatever. Fuck you, Netflix. Anyways.
Yeah, no, literally. Okay, next thing. Someone on TikTok, which I agree with them, someone on TikTok said that Portia Featherington is the Kris Jenner of the Bridgerton world. Yes. And I think that is so spot on.
Yeah.
That girl never stops scheming.
She's working so hard.
She is working so hard, but honestly, power to her, because she's like, my husband was the worst and screwed us all over. But you know what? You're not going to take away from my lifestyle. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. I'm a businesswoman. We're going to get that money, whether I have to lie or whatever. I'm going to do what I need to do. She's honestly, also so funny. But.
Yes, she is very funny. I'm honestly so impressed that they keep, like, their storyline is still like so intriguing in like season 3. I mean, I understand like Penelope is obviously the main character for this season, but like every season it's something different with that fucking family. Like, holy shit.
No, literally. And I will say, I think I like the Featherington storyline, like you said, because it still ties in with the Bridgerton a lot because of the bridge with like Penelope and Eloise and Colin and stuff. But then, like I mentioned in my summary, you get the storyline of the Mondricks, and I don't understand why that is still a storyline. I'm sorry, I don't get it, and it really annoys me.
That was actually one of my comments in a different episode, but I'll say that here because I think so. When when we first started talking about our overall thoughts, you were like, "Oh, I just didn't expect what these 4 episodes were going to be," and I agree in the sense of this storyline. Like, I don't. Why are we bringing importance to them? You know, like I mean,
like, there's no tie to the Bridgertons besides him owning the club. So I don't understand. Like, the Featheringtons I can see because of the tie through Penelope again.
Yeah. And also they're kind of like rivals. Like Portia and Violet. They're kind of not really, they kind of butt heads sometimes, right? So but like the Mondricks, I guess like the Bridgerton boys go to the bar and stuff, but then just have him be the bar owner. Like, that's great that they came into money after working so hard, but like, who cares? I don't care. I don't understand why they decided to bring this storyline up front. You know, I don't know. Honestly, whenever their scenes come on, I'm like,
I want to just fast forward.
I don't know what it's building towards.
Yeah. I honestly don't know if it's building towards anything.
Yes, exactly. It feels so empty where it's like, I feel like we could be building towards Eloise or even Benedict's too, even though, you know, later in the episode we do get a little bit of that. But like, I feel like we can do more stuff with the Bridgerton. I don't understand. I just...
I don't either. Yep.
Anyways.
I'm glad we feel the same way about that.
Yeah.
Little note about Kate and Violet. I mentioned this in the summary when they were having the conversation where Kate was like, you can stay as long as you want, like, whatever. And then I like the setup we get with Violet and Lady Danbury's brother, Marcus, because in the Queen Charlotte show, obviously Violet was ready to get back out there, honey. And now... And it's so funny because Lady Danbury had the thing with Violet's dad. And so Violet's like, you slept with my dad? I'm going to sleep with your brother. Like, it's so, I love the setup that we're getting with that.
Yes. People have been speculating that, and I think it will happen.
I agree. I agree.
But I wonder, sorry. I'll save that for the other episodes.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Cressida and Eloise's friendship? Because I was finding it hard to watch at times just because I miss Penelope and Eloise's friendship so much. But I also think it's cool that they're giving Cressida kind of a redemption arc, so I love that. Like, I feel like they made her such a dynamic character. And I just have to throw this out there that the showrunner was saying that like in future seasons they're hoping to like explore more like LGBTQ relationships. And like, I'm sorry, I was getting a little tension with Eloise and Cressida, so I wouldn't be surprised if Eloise's season was next. Who knows? I'm not saying that they'll end up together, but like I could see that being something. I don't know.
I will say they're like diversity wise, I could tell this season that they were really opening those doors because they're when they did the whole Queen thing, Diamond of the Season, there was a mom and a daughter signing together after they like bowed to the Queen or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think at this ball, or maybe it was the next ball in episode 2, there was someone in a wheelchair. Yes! I was like, this is amazing! Like, literally, the tiniest fucking thing can make a huge difference. And, like, I saw it, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. Sorry, going back to Cressida. It's so interesting. I felt the same way because I was like, why Cressida? Same thing with the Mondricks of, like, why the Mondricks? Why Cressida? Like, why? I think overall in this part 1, she really grew on me, and I really do love her. I think it was really weird because I feel like both Eloise and Cressida come from very, very different worlds, and their personalities are the opposite of each other, but I think that's why they complement each other so much.
Yeah,
like they can learn so much from each other, and I really, really like that. But yeah, it was a pleasant surprise to see Cressida kind of like step into the limelight for the season. Yeah.
Totally. Okay, and then the last note I have for episode 1. I love the setup with it ending in Colin reading Lady Whistledown and Lady Whistledown calling him out. And it's so interesting because, well, actually, I'll bring that up later. But I just think that's a really interesting setup because I'm still kind of wondering when, you know, Colin's going to find out that she's Lady Whistledown. So I feel like we're getting a lot of tension building up to that. And I'm excited to watch it blow up.
Yeah, I'm excited for the tension as well. It's so funny. I've literally said most of my comments for episode 2 in this episode 1, but that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah. All right, go into episode 2. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so here is my long-ass summary that I got from Wikipedia. Everyone say thank you, Wikipedia.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Okay, here's my summary. Queen Charlotte remains unfazed by Lady Whistledown's gossip and takes her time in choosing the season's diamond. The Mondriches move into a grand estate but are unhappy with their separate bedrooms and the out-of-style dresses Mrs. Mondrick inherits. Lady Danbury shares information with the Bridgertons, and Portia Featherington interrogates her daughters about their marital relations. Penelope and Colin's relationship deepens through flirting lessons to test her skills on a promenade, revealing a charming backstory. Colin helps Penelope navigate social interaction at a ball, leading to humorous and awkward moments. Eloise accidentally spreads Colin and Penelope's arrangements to the ton, sparking a scandal and causing friction between Colin and Eloise. Lady Featherington instructs her daughter in sexual insights and how to produce an heir to avoid losing the estate. To avoid further suspicion, Penelope writes about herself in Whistledown. Penelope's self-doubt leads her to ask Colin for a kiss, resulting in a passionate moment that suggests deeper feelings. Okay.
Damn.
So going back to the tension part, I will say I think this season they've done a really good job of like setting up the tension and the stakes, especially with Penelope being Lady Whistledown.
Yeah.
And I just like I just love it because I feel like I can feel it coming where it's like, it's going to happen, but like, when is it going to happen?
Yeah,
like, totally. It's going to blow up. And I'm really excited about that because I feel like we haven't had that tension in any other seasons. And I feel like this is what makes Penelope and Colin's relationship super unique.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I love Pen's awkward nature. She's so cute. Like it's, I just want to help you. Like you're okay. Like you can do it. Like and the way that she like fans herself as she's like talking to like all the lords and stuff. I was like, it's okay. Like you're doing great. She's so cute.
But I feel like she's such a real character, and that's why people love her so much because a lot of times in like romance movies or whatever, like, you get the fake awkward people or you get the girls that are super confident and coy and whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like Penelope is very real in how awkward she is, you know?
Yeah. And I think her relationship with Colin really brings those guards down, those walls down of just like being her. Again, the whole fucking theme of the season. Okay, what else? I think it's so funny this season, right? Or at least this part 1, whatever. That Colin and Penelope are so unchaperoned. It's like killing me.
I know.
It is killing. Like, what do you mean they're unchaperoned in the study, saying the things that they're saying, doing the things that they're doing? Like, it honestly feels a little jarring just because I know, especially with Kate's sister from last season, where it was so chaperoned and it was so like strict on everything, right? And Kate was always there with her sister being like, hey, Anthony, like, back the fuck off, you know? And so it feels weird. Again, though, I think it might be like they're just friends and they're just hanging out. So no one gives a fuck.
No,
but it's weird.
No, it is weird. But I was going to say exactly what you just did, where it's like, I think it makes you feel even worse for Penelope because nobody thinks that she's the undesirable one. No man's gonna want her, so it doesn't matter if they're in the study or in the garden or whatever, because they're friends. It doesn't mean anything because it's Penelope.
I know. I hate that. I hate that.
God, I just found myself rooting for Penelope so hard. Okay.
Wait, sorry. As you were saying that, I just remembered a comment in episode 1.
Yeah.
I think in general, Colin didn't grovel enough for me. I think their confrontation after the ball in episode 1, where Penelope's like, well, you would never court me. Like, I heard you last season, blah, 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 blah. I think it was too easy, and I think that also goes to show just, like, Penelope's nature. Her, like, she's very forgiving, very understanding, which, yes, I love that, but I'm like, what? Like, what? Ugh. I was just, I wanted a little more. I wanted her to be a little more resistant, because I was like, Penelope, Colin really fucking hurt you. Like, that's not a nice thing to say. Like,
no, totally. And my hope is that in the next 4 episodes, we'll see them happy, but also see Penelope, as she's gaining confidence, be like, I gave into this so easily. And, like, even though they're, like, engaged or whatever, I'm, like, hoping we'll get to see Penelope have a little trust issues with him now. You know, like, and kind of have them work through that. And that is kind of, like, the groveling or, like, the part of them working through that. Because I agree, it didn't feel like enough.
Too quick. Yeah, it was too quick for me. Okay, sorry, that was just a little sidebar. What else? Okay, the kiss at the end of this episode. I will say it was a little weird the way that it came about. Like, I mean,
of her asking to be kissed.
Yes, and being like, I could die tomorrow, and I can't even fathom the fact that I've never been kissed, and I'm gonna die tomorrow. And Colin's like, you're not gonna die tomorrow. Like, and I just like, okay, so I think if the circumstances were a little different, like, I could possibly believe it, but the fact that that was the reason why they kissed, I was like, could we just come up with something different, you guys? Like, it was just, I couldn't believe in it.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think the more that I've sat with it, the more I've liked it. Because I definitely had that reaction at first as well. Yeah. But the more I've thought about it, the more is like, I think about times when, like, I've been with my friends and I'm, like, so over dramatic, but I wouldn't be that way around anyone else.
Yeah.
But, and I feel like that moment went to show, like, at the end of the day, regardless of what happened, they're, like, such good friends that, like, Penelope can be dramatic. She can just be whatever. And, like, that. And Colin's going to respond as a friend would, like, you're not going to die tomorrow, which was so funny. So, yeah.
Die tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the kiss was still really nice, and I, like, really liked it. It was such a cute, tender moment, but I just wish the way that it came to was just a bit different.
I get it, yeah.
But that's all that I have for episode 2, because I said most of my things in episode 1.
I know, that kind of came to me, like, after episode 1, a lot of my notes and thoughts were, like, the same, even though different stuff was happening.
Yeah, so that's fine. Do you have anything else for episode 2 that you want to mention?
I don't. I feel like, well, actually, the one thing I will say, the conversation that Portia had with the 2 kids, Prudence and
whatever her name is,
was so funny when she's like,
so funny.
what do you mean inserts himself?
Yeah.
I was like,
we just kiss and then he changes his trousers.
And then he makes
That's
a noise. And I was... That was so funny.
Again, like I said, like every season, these Featheringtons have such a great storyline where it's like, I'm always very intrigued, where it's like, this is so fucking funny. Like, it's just, I love it.
It's so good. All right, episode 3. I'll try to read through this fast.
Yeah.
The episode opens with Colin having a very spicy dream about Penelope. We then find out that if Francesca was chosen as a queen's pick, she'll have more options of men. We then get a scene of Penelope and Eloise chatting, where Eloise acknowledges that Penelope had to write poorly about herself, and Eloise knows how that feels. Eloise apologizes for the rumor that got out about Colin helping Penelope and wishes Penelope finds what she's looking for this season. We then see Penelope and Colin talk again, where they decide to end their arrangement because Penelope doesn't want to bring even more embarrassment to her family. Penelope wants to become more serious about her prospects. We then see Cressida start attempting a conversation with Lord Debling. Penelope then attempts to talk to 2 suitors, but they end up walking away laughing. Then we see Penelope and Lord Debling talk, and we see a spark between them because Lord Debling likes Penelope's frankness and bravery of asking for Colin's help. Yes. Cressida and Eloise then discuss Lord Debling, and Cressida realizes she needs to learn more about nature to get with him. Penelope and Colin then talk about how Penelope is interested in Lord Debling, and we see Colin mystified by Penelope licking frosting from her finger. We then see Cressida and Penelope awkwardly fight for Lord Debling's affection. Then Benedict and that girl flirt about the hot air balloon, which I think is a completely pointless storyline. Then we see the balloon mishap where Colin pulls together men to hold the balloon back when Lord Debling, in quotes, saves Penelope. We then get to see a small conversation between Violet and Marcus. Then Francesca was with Lord Samadami, but she soon finds herself outside with an unknown man, looking at the stars, whatever. Lord Debling then tells Penelope he wants to court someone honest, and that was after she shares that she was basically lying about having interest in the outdoors. Colin and Violet then have a conversation about having a foundation of love and friendship, and Violet tells him someone just needs to be brave enough to go for it. And then we see that the Featherington siblings are both sick, indicating that maybe they're both pregante. So...
this episode was so good.
Yeah, this episode slapped.
Good.
This episode slapped. When I say, I screamed when that dream was happening right off the bat in this episode. I thought it was Penelope's dream.
Me too! Me too!
But the way that it turned out to be Colin's, I think that's what we desperately needed, that like he's starting to pine for her and not the other way around, which I think is so important for like Penelope's confidence in their storyline in general, right?
He was so down bad. The second that he woke up, I was like, oh boy, you have a problem. Like
and some people, I agree that I think things happen very fast with Colin and Penelope, but the more that I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, you know what? Sometimes that's what it takes as friends, is like having a romantic moment and you're like, oh, this is something more. And I think that's what happened with the kiss.
Yeah, definitely.
The conversation that Penelope and Eloise had in this episode, where Eloise basically wishes her the best, it was so good, but it made me so sad because I just want to see them friends again.
That scene broke me. Like, honestly, like, friendship storylines when it's just like platonic and it's just friends, like friend breakups are like so much harder than like guy breakups or partner breakups or whatever you want to call them.
It's too much.
This like really broke me because I was like, they were best friends, like they were literally attached to the hip and now they can't even like speak, and I'm like, I got
it was a lot. Like, me too. Okay, what did you think about the stuff with Penelope and Cressida fighting for Lord Debling's attention? Because I thought it was really funny at times, but there was also some of it where I was like, this is so awkward, or like, I don't know. What do you think?
Are you talking about when they're at like the hot air balloon or like the ball?
Yeah, where they're like cutting each other off and Penelope's like, I like birds too.
I thought that shit was really funny.
Oh, fair.
Because I think it's like the nature of like trying to court someone, right? And like you want to try to like be the best person that they're gonna like court and stuff. And it was just so funny to see Penelope really try to like show off and go up against Cressida. I also will say I appreciate Cressida's character arc in this season, but I love that she's still herself, where she's like she's not ashamed to like go after the guys that she really likes and kind of like flaunt herself. Like I really love that about her still.
Me too. I agree.
But yeah, I thought it was funny.
The frosting moment where Colin was so enthralled with her just licking frosting off her finger. I was like, this is what, let's take out all the Mondrick and Benedict bullshit that we don't need, and let's get more of these moments. Yes. Like I that's kind of an overall thought I had for these first 4 episodes. It almost feels like there's too many things going on. And I'm like, I understand that they're building up for stuff, but I just think about like, if we cut the Benedict stuff, we cut the Mondrick stuff, we would have had a little bit more time for the Colin Penelope stuff.
I honestly am fine with the Benedict stuff because next season is his season. And
I don't think that's confirmed.
I thought they did.
No, it's not confirmed
yet.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I heard something about that. Okay, well, anyways, I'm fine with Benedict because he's a fucking Bridgerton. So I understand it's going to build to something. Yeah. And also, too, season 2, we saw him at his, like, art maybe stuff. It was... Yeah, art stuff. It was season 2. Yeah. Where, but in between Anthony and Kate, he was going and he was having fun and he was discovering himself and doing all that stuff. So in a way, I don't care about the Benedict stuff. It's like the Mondrick stuff that like is really like, what the fuck is this? Like off. I don't. Yes, I'm like I don't understand. So I'm fine. I just think that like Benedict really likes to have fun and he's just so cute. So
he is a cutie.
Yeah.
Okay. I just have to say. Some people are saying that they think Francesca's boring. They don't like her storyline.
What?
I totally disagree. I actually think she's such a unique character because she is so, like, she's so sweet. Like, she's so gentle. She's so, like, feminine and just, like, I think it's so cool to see a character who loves music so much. And, like, I think it's so cool that her and the guy, like, sometimes it's just about the connection and it doesn't need to be words, right? But, like, it's totally, like, an actions thing because I'll let us talk about that the next episode, but I really like her character and I like that we're building up to more and that we're seeing her with that guy.
She's very practical, and I really like that about her, where I feel like Daphne was very, very headstrong and very, very, like, she knew what she wanted, and she would get it no matter what. And on the opposite side, I agree. I feel like Francesca is so, like, go with the flow and, like, be proper and be quiet and be observative. I really like her. And I guess in that sense, I guess she could be, like, boring because she's not outspoken. But I feel like there's, like, a beauty to her quietness.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The last note I have for this section is just, I love Violet's conversation she has with her children. The same thing happened with Anthony last season and Daphne the first season. Like, she's so subtle, but also not subtle at all at the same time. When she knows her kids so well that she knows what they need to hear, but doesn't make it so obvious that they're gonna, like, be like, what are you saying? You know, like... So
I love
think
her.
That's cool.
I love
Me
her.
too.
I wish she was my mom.
Yeah.
I love her. She's just great. Okay, wait. A couple of things that I wanted to talk about for episode 3.
Yes.
When Lord Devling and Penelope first talk at that ball or whatever it is, their conversation, and then he looks at her and is like, oh, your frankness is just so refreshing or whatever. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know that Lord Devling would be this charming. And like their conversation was just so natural, and like Penelope was like so honest too, but just how like she was feeling. And I was like, oh no. This is not good, because I really like Lord Devling. I was like, oh my gosh. But it was such a good conversation.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'll have more to say about this later, but I think it's so interesting how we see the impression that Lord Devlin got of Penelope, which
Yes.
is wonderful.
Yes.
Because I think that's what Penelope has wanted people to see her as.
Yeah.
But then I think there was a part of her that he like didn't really understand. So anyways, yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole like park scene with the hot air balloon when Lord Devlin came in to like save her or whatever, I was like, oh my god, that's like so cliche, but I am here for it.
See, I liked it too, but I will say the hot air balloon scene came so out of nowhere. I was like,
it
this
was
is
so...
such a plot device.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Like,
I could
oh my
see
God.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? And the second the wind started picking up, I'm like, Colin's gonna go help, isn't he?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yep.
He's gonna have his moment. Like, I knew
Yep.
it, but I still loved it. Like,
Yeah.
It's still really nice. I think that's all for episode 3.
Sweet.
I think, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Oh, that's me.
Yes.
Episode 4. Okay, the last episode in part 1. So this is my summary. Debling's visit to Penelope is a success despite the interference of the Featherington family, who are now happier to have her around due to her advantage. Advantage.
Now it's your turn to glitch.
I'm glitching. Advantageous. Advantageous match. Okay, holy crap. That broke me. Okay. Colin Bridgerton continues to deny his feelings for Penelope, while Benedict continues his sensual encounters with the widowed Lady Arnold. A mysterious guest, Lord Kilmartin, an earl, the gentleman whom Francesca shared a comfortable silence with, comes to call, which delights Francesca, but confuses her family, expecting another suitor. Penelope later enjoys a visit to a large library with Debling, who appreciates her intellectual interests. Despite their compatibility, Penelope keeps glancing at Colin. Debling is interested in proposing, but senses Penelope's distraction. Meanwhile, Colin realizes his affection for Penelope after feeling uninterested in other women's company. Francesca has an awkward encounter with Lord Kilmartin, who later gives her a thoughtful gift. At a ball, Penelope dances with Debling, but is interrupted by Colin, who warns her against marrying Debling without giving solid reasons. Debling, noticing Penelope's feelings for Colin, decides not to propose. This leads to a confrontation between Penelope and her mother, Portia. Colin confesses his feelings to Penelope, leading to a passionate moment and his declaration of their engagement to his family. The music in this episode, the music in this part 1 in general, was lit as fuck.
Yo.
I'll get to it. Yeah, but it's so good. I was like, the music choice in this last episode was so good. I think in episode 3 they had like Cheap Thrills by Sia or whatever it was. It was so good.
But I'll let you, I'll save this to let you mention it.
Yeah.
But the song during the carriage scene was it for me.
Yes. It was just so good. Oh, yes. Okay, so the library scene. We're in the library scene, right? I was very, it was almost so shocking. And also made me really sad when Penelope and Debling were talking about this, like, made-up story and how he was like, oh, the man will go away for a few years and the lady will stay at the estate and wait for him. And Pen was like, holy shit, that's going to be my life. And she kind of just says, oh, well, you'll just have to, like, read the story to find out. I was like, oh my gosh, it was almost like we realized along with Penelope at the same moment what her life would be like. And I was just so sad for her because I think we were all really excited that Lord Debling came to her house, right? He like called on her and all that stuff. And it's just like very, very exciting to come to find out like this is not the life that she wanted. And it was just really sad.
No, I think it was sad too, but I also think it sets up so well later what happens in the episode because Penelope has gone through so much and she was almost ready to settle because she's like, because she's still finding her confidence. It's definitely building, but like she's still finding it. She's like, he's a nice guy. Like we get along. It'll work out, I guess.
Yes,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And she's like so naive in the sense where I think, I don't know if it happened in episode 3 or this episode where it was her and her mom having a talk of like Penelope still wants to find love. And Portia was like, well, if you don't marry him, like I'll find a way for you to do it anyways or whatever. Because like Portia, again, being a Kris Jenner, she's like trying to scheme and get her daughters the best. And like the fact that Penelope is still looking for love is just like, oh, honey, like that's just so sad. That's so sad. Okay. Francesca and Lord Kilmartin. I Honestly, this came as a surprise to me, and I loved it, though. I loved this whole little thing together with them.
Too.
It was so cute when she was like, oh my god, like the violin player, like it's too fast that you can't even blah, 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 blah. Like it'd be better if it was 3/4. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool, bye. Which I thought was weird. I was like,
yeah.
But I figured something was happening. And then at the ball, he gives her music sheets and then she rushes home to play it. That's my love language right there.
No, literally. No, that was magic. I love it. It was
so cute, and it also showed like so much appreciation for like Francesca's love of the pianoforte, and also just having someone like to understand her, because like her mom doesn't understand her. Of like her mom's like, oh, like you should find love, and like Francesca's like, well, whatever match is gonna be fine, right?
Yeah.
And to have someone to understand her just a little bit is like a win for her.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's literally so cute. Okay.
It is.
Okay, I want to discuss this thing, okay? At the ball, right? Which I probably already know your answer, but I still want to discuss it, right?
Okay.
After Colin rudely interrupts Penn and Debling's dance, which I thought was rude as fuck, okay? I was like, Colin, hold your fucking horses, okay? They have a chat, and then Debling, right, sees this happening between Penn and Colin, and then basically they have a conversation accusing her that her heart is elsewhere, which we all know that Penn's heart is elsewhere, okay?
Yeah.
And he can't, like, and Devlin can't have that, blah, blah, blah. I think it's so stupid because he's the one leaving her, right, for years as his stupid hunting trips. And, like, I just, it's such a double standard of, like, oh, it makes it okay for you to do these things, but not Penn. Like, I mean, I understand you don't want Penn to love someone, right? But she can't help that. It's going to be her friend. But, like, putting these standards on her of, like, oh, you have to, like, for years on end, you can't have any affection for anyone else. And even, too, it was, like, they had the discussion about love or whatever, which I don't particularly remember. But I was just so angry for Penn, because I'm like, this guy's gonna leave you and he can't even like give you the love that you ask.
See, I saw that completely differently.
Really?
Than you did. Yeah. I saw it as I can understand what you're saying about like him putting those standards on Penelope, but I also think that's just him being like, this is the reality of my life and I want someone who's loyal to me, and if you can't do that, then that's fine. I don't think that was I don't think that was him putting that on Penelope. And honestly, I think it was more him actually seeing such positive things in Penelope that he was like, yes, I'm not going to marry you because you have feelings for something else, but also like I actually think very highly of you and think you deserve someone like to love somebody, because I think before he had this impression where she's independent, she doesn't need a man, she does this, but then I think that made him realize that she does want that, so he wasn't going to be the right fit for her. That's how I saw it.
I can see that end of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that was their discussion in the library or whatever, where it's like he has his interests and she has her interests. But no, I thought he was still mean to Penn. That was not nice to Penn, who barely has her fucking confidence together. Okay.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the end of this episode, okay?
Yeah.
Something about Bridgerton men making the biggest, most wonderful love statements will be the death of me, Theone.
Literally.
Colin's speech in this carriage was so wonderful, also written so beautifully and delivered beautifully. I was hypnotized too.
Yeah.
I literally had to go back into the episode to write this down because I loved it so much. This is what he says to Penelope. He says, "Feels like dreaming of you when I'm asleep, and in fact, preferring sleep because that is where I might find you. A feeling that is like torture, but one which I cannot, will not, do not want to give up."
That's unreal. That's unreal.
Sorry, I like can't even talk. The whole like dreaming when I'm asleep and like preferring sleep because that's where I'll find you. Like
that That's crazy. And I thought it was so beautiful because all Penelope, like, I feel like I relate to Penelope in this way where it's like, you just want to feel wanted. You desire to feel loved. And then
oh my God.
He just wants her. He loves her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that
then,
one.
I'm sorry. If you guys need to go look this up, the still of Colin's face when Penelope runs her hands through his hair, that man was yearning. That man was pining.
We love yearning men.
He was hypnotized by her.
Yes, like he
that
was like that. That's like the groveling that I want. Like that is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
And then the violin version of "Give Me Everything" comes in.
So good. Like the second that it hit when they kissed, I was like, "Oh, this is it. This is it." Pitbull, my man, Mr. Worldwide, you did it again.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a couple more comments on this carriage scene. Again, with him being chaperoned. Unchaperoned. I was like, are you kidding me? And also, the carriage is an open air carriage, and they're doing all of that. I was like, y'all are getting so spicy, and y'all are so brave. But honestly, I was here for it. So
same.
Yeah. And then, okay, we just talked about Give Me Everything. And then the end with Colin, I did indeed pass away because it was so cute, and it was so out of a rom-com where he was like, come with me. I was like, you guys live across the street from each other, but sure, right? Come with him, I guess. And then he was like, are you going to marry me or not? And no, it's the smile that comes with it when he says it. And I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
And this is why I love Friends to Lovers. When they finally broke apart and they were just like both giggling with each other.
It was so cute.
I can't believe that this is happening with my best friend.
I know.
Like,
I'm going to throw the fuck up.
I don't know if you saw this on TikTok because I didn't notice it at first. So Colin's obviously like doing that business with his hand.
Yeah.
When he goes to lift up her sleeve.
Yeah.
He lifts it up without those two fingers.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I have to go back.
Yes, he does. Selena, you have to go back. When I saw that on TikTok, I screamed. Because you know what he was doing with those fingers. But he didn't want to get...
We love a man who's clean.
When I saw that on TikTok, I
passed away.
I perished. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's all that I have for episode 4. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. I think I think the biggest question that I'm left with is like, when is Colin gonna find out that Penelope's whistle down? Because apparently in the books, he proposes after he already finds out she's whistled down. So this is a big change that they made in the show. So I'm so curious to see how that's going to play out. And I wonder if how that comes out is going to somehow be like a device to bring Eloise and Penelope kind of back together. Yeah. I don't know. So that's like my biggest question that I'm left with.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking like there's got to be some more push and pull, right? We have 4 more episodes, and I think that is obviously going to be one thing that kind of pushes and pulls them in this relationship. Yeah. Because again, their relationship has moved very fast. Yeah. So I'm very excited to see where it goes. So.
Yeah, me too. Ooh!
Wow.
I love this show, and I'm so excited for the next 4 episodes.
Same. Yes, we will be discussing part 2 in June when it comes out. So come back.
Yes. But before then, in between that, we are going to be doing another Icebreakers episode. So ask each other some fun questions, and we'll hang out, we'll vibe, we'll chat. Yeah, we'll live our life. So that's great. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.